Right then, I think we're ready to go. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back once again to Tier 3 of Fair Play Racing League. And this week we are racing around the famous and legendary circuit Gilles Villeneuve, 4.3 kilometres or 2.7 miles, however you want to measure it, around this staple of a circuit which has been present on the F1 calendar for decades, it should be said. 14 turns, including the not to be underestimated Wall of Champions, which has played host to the downfall of many real-world F1 champions, of course. Sadly, there is no previous FPRL champions in the field tonight, but championship leader Snedden69 will desperately be trying to avoid any drama there tonight, especially as he is serving a qualifying ban, as the eagle-eyed viewers might have just seen. He will start at the back of the field for the race. You might have heard different voices last Wednesday night around Azerbaijan. Thank you to Silverside Boy and Collateral Lads for taking the wheel that evening, but we are back once again, the regular Wednesday night duo, although I'm joined once again by TJM 1992, who didn't get a week off last week. He covered the Tier 1 race on Thursday, but are you glad to be back on Wednesday night action, TJ?
Yeah, definitely. It didn't feel right on Thursday, so I'm glad to be back home.
Did it feel right? Did it feel right? Covering the Tier 1 boys.
The Tier 3 boys are the place to be. The Tier 1 guys, it was fun. Tier 3 is the place to be.
Tier 3 is the place to be for the best clean racing, of course. Tier 3 take nothing away from the talents of these drivers. They might be in the lowest tier in FPRL, but oftentimes they are the cleanest tier. As people that have followed all three tiers this season will have known. We have got, and we are riding on board with, I believe, the only driver who hasn't raced in FPRL this season. We'll call him Diamond. I don't know what I'm going to do in the last part of that game tag. We'll go with Diamond in the Mercedes tonight. TJ, I don't know anything about this driver. I believe he was here before, but I don't know if anyone got to see him race. I don't know if you know anything to do with his pace, whether you know anything to do with time trials, but let's hope that he can get it up there this evening.
Yeah, definitely. I don't know him. It's the first time I've seen him, and so that'll be interesting to see what he can do.
Very interesting indeed, and he's about to complete his first flying lap in FPRL, keeping it clean through the Wall of Champions there, not hugging the inside wall as a lot of drivers like to, and it's a 110.6 from him, then the first driver to set a time in the session.
That's a pretty decent time, that is. I think he probably got a bit more as we get closer to perhaps 110.2, but I think that's the first lap. That's a pretty decent lap, that is.
Perhaps backed up there by Red G coming over the line and setting a 1:11.6, over a second slower in the Aston Martin. And so a good time from Diamond, especially in his first effort. Force majeure over the line with a 1:12.7 now. As well, Belente just shy of Diamond. I'm not good there with a 1:10.2. That will surely see him through. We've got a yellow flag out for it's Adrian getting out the way of a lot of drivers. And that's probably a good point to discuss traffic around here, TJ, especially in Q1. Do you think we'll be seeing a lot of drivers getting in the way of one another in this session?
Yeah, definitely. As many people might know, that the track limits around Kaida are probably one of the strictest on the calendar. And if drivers are going to validate it, they'll try to get out the way. We are in an unusual situation where we've got the majority of the drivers out so early. We normally see a half and half sort of split where half of them go out straight away, then half will leave it 4 or 5 minutes and perhaps come out. Whereas everyone, as we can see, that most drivers have gone out to try to set a lap just because of how bad the track limits are.
Yeah, all drivers out there at the moment, bar 5 that have yet to set a time. Soprano Legend, 3rd place last week around Baku with the 1:11.0 there, puts himself into 6th place there. Nigel Piggle, we saw there while he was talking, with a 1:10.0. So that has now put him top of the field in Q1. There's a yellow flag out. Someone has fallen a victim through that final chicane. It has continued on. I think it might have been Magsy, yeah. 6 seconds off in the end then, as he came over the line, according to his delta there anyway. On his second push lap, he's done a 1:11.6 on his first effort, as we saw in the second one. Didn't quite get it together. He'll surely need to go again there, Magsy. As we mentioned, championship leader Snedden with the qualifying ban tonight. He will start at the back of the field. Snedden, though, it should be said, only leader of the championship on countback. He's tied with points with this man, FPRL Locker then, and he's out there on medium tyres at the moment, TJ, the only one to select the mediums.
Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, that would suggest that he wants to start on the soft tyres. I mean, the medium tyres are pretty good on there. I think there's maybe half a second between the mediums to softs. So I think if you can get into 1:10.8 maybe, he could go through on that.
It will follow his lap round. It's a little bit quiet on the circuit at the moment as he invalidates then through 3 and 4. Probably one of the big areas where you can get that invalidation, as Tadas then goes third with a 1:10.3, and Locker will have to take the pain and punishment of doing an extra lap on those medium tyres now then. And it is one of those circuits, I think we spoke about it before at other tracks, where if you invalidate on the last corner, I think Spain, the last race where we commentated on, was another one. If you go wide through that final chicane, you have to take the extra punishment of doing another lap, and that can really hurt the drivers in qualifying.
Yeah, definitely. I think the only saving grace on there is that tyre wear doesn't seem very high, but obviously it isn't ideal that, you know, you've got to go back around the track again and then potentially as well invalidate your next lap if you cut the last chicane.
Williban going a little bit deep there. Looks like he's being very cautious of the curves, then coming down into the hairpin then before the penultimate straight. Then tucking nicely on the inside of the curve there. Good with this traction on the exit. Not too sure what settings he's running, but it is good exit on the corner there. Obviously DRS wide open as he comes down this back straight, then now towards the dreaded final chicane. Then obviously the Wall of Champions tackles it well and keeps it on the inside. Looked a little bit cautious there with his throttle, lifts off quite a bit and crosses the line. And yep, it's a 1:12.9, so he'll definitely need to go again at this point.
Yeah, we're seeing some variances in time. I think maybe some drivers getting bank lapping, get a bit of confidence into him. And you know, like Mags, Panic, I expect him to be a bit more up there. Reggie, I think he's a pretty quick driver as well, so I expect him to improve. But drivers will probably panic about that, you know, the turns 3 and 4 and the last set of corners as well, because it's, as we've mentioned, it's so easy to invalidate.
Indeed it is, and Adrian, who we know is a very quick driver, sets a very quick time, then a 1:09.7, then to go 3/10 clear at the top of the times from Nigel Piggle at the moment, so he will surely be through with that time. 9 minutes left to go of this session. I didn't know whether the fact that everyone came out a little bit early would suggest that the weather was going to get a little bit worse towards the end of the session. I know it's a bit cloudy at the moment. Of course, we can't see the weather up here in the commentary box because of the very limited information we have. Thank you once again to Codemasters for making our job very easy. But if someone could give us an update on that, whether we are going to see any rain, that'll be good information for the rest of qualifying and indeed the race. Then we're watching Mongo now, then one of 3 drivers yet to set a lap still in the session, coming down towards the final chicane now. DRS wide open as he crosses the line onto the pit straight then, and he does hug a little bit closer to the inside of the circuit, but is that enough? A 1:11.2 to go into 11th place then. And looking at the drivers behind him, there is some there that you would expect to improve on their times at the moment and perhaps go above that.
Yeah, definitely. I think you've got to be looking at the, you know, like a 1:11 flat, 1:10.9, just to be certain.
Yeah, definitely anything in the 110s, you would imagine, would be safely through at this point. One driver in trouble, just dipped under the 8-minute mark left in the session. David Lowface has invalidated then for the first part of this lap, turn 3 and 4, and he's had to take the pain of going around again. Will we see him come into the pits? Yet to set a valid time. And I'm just wondering, in terms of tyre wear, TJ, I know we touched on it briefly, but will he be able to get a second push up if he wants to go for it?
I think so. I must admit I haven't done much practice on it, but the little practice I have done, the tyre wear didn't seem too high, so as long as he protects the tyres, I think he could push again.
And he's proved you right. He is going to push again as he comes through the wall of champions, and he will go on a second push lap, and of course, conserving the ERS to do so then. Adrian is the first proper retiree, I'll say, from the session, comfortable on a 109.7 then, and as we mentioned, he is probably through. Worth to mention that Nigel Piggle then has gone round again on a set of soft tyres. I think it's the same tyres that he used on his first run. So they're not a new set that he's using here, but he's looking to improve on that time. Is that just to give him a bit of confidence, do you think, in this session? Do you think it will help him going forward into Q2 and Q3 to get a few more laps in here?
Yeah, definitely. I find this track, the more you drive it and get yourself into rhythm, the easier it becomes. So I imagine he is just trying to get some sort of rhythm in. Yeah, put the laps in when it really counts.
We are about to find out whether it does count as he comes through the final chicane. And he's got a big slap on there and he's in the wall and out of the session.
Oh, no, Nigel.
Nigel Piggle, we got the best camera angle of it there. He took way too much inside curb, hot on the exit there, lit up the rears and spun it straight into the pit wall then. So the driver who was second fastest will play no more part in qualifying, and he is out of the session.
I mean, that makes it interesting at the back now, because I know there is a I'm going to say heated debate between the Snedden and Nigel, but I know it's a love-hate relationship, so it's good to see them two back of the grid and see what both of them can do from there now.
Yeah, indeed. Nigel Piggle, probably one of the favourites, you'd say, to stick it on pole, especially with that early time. He is out of the session then, and will start no higher than 15th. And I would imagine he would. Well, it depends if people can improve and go a little bit faster than Bad Tom's time at the moment. Bad Tom now pushed down into 16th. Then, as Willy Bum improved on his time. Panic End at the moment with the 1:12.2. We saw him invalidate through that final chicane, so he will trickle round again and perhaps look to get another set of tyres on, considering the ones he's on now. Oh, they are new. I was looking at the best. They are new tyres, so he might look to get a second lap on those. And it's a quiet track at the moment, TJ, but one driver who is still struggling, David Lowface, has invalidated again.
Yeah, I've been on board with him, just watched him, and it is turns 3 and 4 and the final chicane that's killing him. I imagine he's probably... I'm not sure if he's got the time coming for the pits and get back out again. I mean, it's going to be close. I reckon he could do it, but be close. And obviously, back of his mind now, it'll be he just needs a clean lap and try to get through to Q2.
Well, he's got 4 minutes to go. Should get in and go round again. Panic End has just started his flying lap that's going to, he'll hope, get himself inside the top 15 then. Force Manure still in the pits at the moment now, 1:11.6. Doesn't come out again, he will of course be out and joining Nigel Piggle and Snedden in taking no further part in qualifying. It should be said that because Nigel Piggle's still set at 1:10, the drivers still have to target that time above Nigel Piggle in Mongo, the 1:11.2, even though Nigel Piggle will play no further part and is showing in 15th place then. Because he's got a time and he will start in that 15th place then, I believe. I don't think I'm wrong there.
No, I think you're right there. Yeah, I think it places in P15 regardless, and everyone just moves up and down around him.
Yeah, a little bit misleading sometimes that are watching. We're riding on board with Bad Tom then. I believe it's his third FBRL race. I don't know if he raced last week. Ian Backer, of course. Keep a close eye on proceedings. He's running out of fuel, and he's on 4-lap old soft tyres. I can't imagine this is going to be a very quick time. Is he going to prove me wrong across the line? It's a slight improvement. It's 400th quicker, but it doesn't put him any further up the timings. And as it stands, he will be out of qualifying. I imagine, I can pretty much say with confidence he is out of qualifying because he's almost got no fuel and got no tyres then, so he's going to be out of the session as force maneuver tyres. Ooh, as we see there, McLaren of Locker, I think he must have been on a slow lap. Locker there. Bad Tom did him no favours in getting out the way at all. I think he was on a slow lap though, so I don't think he'll feel too aggrieved with that. And we've also got David Lowface in the pits as well then. Just coming out now to start his outlap. How long's left? Can't see, there's a yellow flag out.
Yeah,
he's 1 minute 49.
Yeah, he's got time to get round, so he obviously only have 1 lap to try and do it, so yeah, pressure on to David Lowface.
Pressure is on for David Lowface. Pressure's on for Red Bull in Tier 3 here. If he beats Mongo, both Red Bull drivers will be out in the early part of qualifying. And it all comes down to whether David Lowface has got the bottle then to avoid invalidation. I imagine he'd have the pace. I think he'd have the pace to beat that 111.2. It's just whether he can keep it clean. We know how hard it is around here for track limits. But even if he gets through now, TJ, he's going to have such limited tyres for the rest of the session, isn't he?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's an interesting one. It's sorry, I'm just looking on board with some of the other drivers as well, but yeah.
TJ's distracted. He's watching a bit of Geordie. That's how I'm going to get there. With the running joke in the Discord. We'll avoid any Geordie jokes tonight. I'm sure Nigel Piggle will appreciate that one. And he might have taken himself off to enjoy a bit of Geordie, to be honest. As he'll play no further part in qualifying then. David Lowface keeps it clean through the first sector. He's avoided invalidation so far. This is the one to watch, really. We've got Mongo and Locker and Panic End all on laps as well. They don't need to improve. Panic End does now, because Mongo's improved then, so it's Panic End. And he's currently going to be out of the session then. So let's see if David Lowface can put Skivid, his good friend Skivid, into the bottom 5 then. Panic End hasn't improved, and I imagine he will be out as he's on 5-lap old softs. We've got then David Lowface coming up to the dreaded final chicane. Will he keep it clean for the first time in this session? I hope he's not listening to the commentary.
Panic End just dropped it.
Panic End is out. He might have been out anyway. David Lowface crosses the line. It's a 1:12.0. It's not enough. David Lowface out. Panic End in the wall. As we heard there, I think he would have been out anyway. He's just put it in the wall for good measure. So there is your bottom, I can say bottom 6 now in qualifying following Nigel Piggle's retirement of the session. We're not going to get to see the stricken Aston Martin, unfortunately. That is indeed the bottom 5 then. Locker still on those mediums, TJ, going round on track. But he's got through on them, so he saved an extra set of softs for later on in the session.
Yeah, it's I mean, I know we haven't touched on it yet, but with the strategy of the race, and I imagine it could be a 2-stopper, so he has worn them tyres in really bad now. So I imagine he won't do his first 2 stint as long as he can, or even try to do a 1-stopper now, which I'm not sure whether you can do.
I think it's possible, but it'll be very stretched in the race. There is your top 14 drivers, I should say. I'm used to saying top 15. It's top 14 for the rest of qualifying there then. So it was Adrian that was the fastest driver on track with a 1:09.70. Set that early on. I'm not good then, half a second back. So is there anyone that can challenge him later on in this session? Nigel Piggle, Panic End, Force Manure, Bad Tom, David Lowface and Snedden with the qualifying ban out in the early part of qualifying then between Q1 and Q2. Always a great time to go to the Twitch chat then. Let's see who we've got with us this evening. I think I saw Laura Lulu, the better half of the Locker Partnership, joining us tonight. Indeed, there she is. Good evening, folks. Good evening to you too, Laura Lulu. Naja Piggle, fuming, of course, confirming that he has gone to watch some Jordi El Nino there. Fair play. He's actually said he'll stream it. I don't think anyone wants to see that. I'm not gonna lie. Bodybag Season says Hobcam or We Riot. He didn't do too much, did he, in Q1? Hobnob. Didn't seem too much. I think he got a time in and sat in the pits for the rest of it, really.
No, but unfortunately, I do think Hobnob actually broke one of the rules. I'm pretty certain I saw him retire on track.
Oh, Hobnob. You dirty Hobnob. Read the rule, as TJ would say, read the rule book. It's not a book. It's not a book in his land, it's a book. Read the rule book. And you'll avoid any kind of penalties in the future. We'll see about that one after the session. Mr. Whippy, nice to see him here. FPRL, Mr. Whippy. Nice to see a full grid. I'm having a lovely time somewhere in Europe. Have been watching Tier 3 of interest. Snedden for an outstanding win from the back. Well, it would be an outstanding win from 20th indeed. Nice to hear from you, Mr. Whipper. We can't wait to welcome you back soon, hopefully. Good luck with all that's going on with your job over in Europe. I'm not good says, yeah, I'm sandbagging. Sandbags in my effing car.
Fair play.
Well,
fair play.
I suppose we'll find out soon. It's nice to see the messages coming in on the chat. Nice to see an active chat. We've currently got how many people with us? 30 people with us live watching the race. And, well, what should I say? Watching the qualifying at the moment, but hopefully you stick around for the race later on. Then Soprano Legend will be the first driver to take us round on a fast lap. TJ. Do you want to talk us through the rest of Soprano's lap?
Yeah, sure. So obviously it's that purple first sector, but he's into the first official DR zone. Into spraying like once again, I'm very cautious to return the turn number, so it's just this corner. Once again, he's going to keep it very nice and clean. This can be a bit of a tricky break point because if you overshoot it, you go flying past the apex, which you don't want to do. You want to keep it nice and tight to go around it, which he does. And it's just a case now of pulling your foot to the floor, opening DRS, and then keeping your mind frame of trying to keep the track limits on these last two corners. As we wait for him to approach it, nice braking, keeps it nice and clean, touches the wall of champions, but still keeps on track. As he sets 1:11.1, which I imagine he's going to be disappointed with.
He will be disappointed with, but I think the early part of that lap he looked a little bit twitchy. He wasn't quite as smooth as I think he would like it, but it's nothing to be sniffed at. 1:11.1. It's not the worst time we've seen so far in qualifying, but Magsy's gone with the 1:11.2, so slower at the moment than Soprano Legend, who obviously crossed the line first. Adrian, though, electing for the soft tyres with a 1:10.8 then. He'll be disappointed in that on soft tyres. Let's hope he's got quite a bit of fuel on board to explain that pace then. Times are becoming thick and fast over the line now as Diamond then goes quickest with a 1:10.5 in the Mercedes in his first qualifying in FPRL. Good time from him. That might see him through, you'd think, to Q3. Obviously, a lot of drivers then thinking they want to start on the medium tyres, TJ. Don't know too much about strategy, but do you think they're better off trying to start on those mediums compared to the softs?
No, I think this is one of the tracks where you better start on the softs and then go into them perhaps doing a two-stop strategy onto the mediums. Well, yeah, but I suppose that's me being biased that I always go start on the softs. But I think mediums on the start, no matter what track you do, you can be very sensitive with the high fuel load.
Indeed, they can. We might see an early safety car around here, though. There's probably a high probability for it, given the nature of the circuit. And with a full grid as well, obviously more chance of that safety car. We saw Valente through the final chicane there, invalidating. He'll be unhappy about that one as he's on the soft tyres. Locker then fastest on the softs. Now we know he used his mediums up in Q1 then, so 110.4 from him, not quite near the pace that we saw in Q1, but not a bad time from him there. He'll be eagerly watching to see if any of the medium runners switch to those softs for their later runs in the session. I'm not good across the line and starting a flying lap then. I think he invalidated the last one. It was a 1:18.4, the delta over the line. Nowhere near quick enough, of course, to be a representative lap time. Looking back at the chat, a lot of love for Mr. Whippy. Like hearing from Body Bag Season, love the hob, hate the half. Absolutely, I'm assuming Hobnob is the hob. No idea who the half is in that one. Willy Cam or All We Riot says Dope Vipers.
I mean,
hope it means Willy Bum. It's a little bit vague. We'll go with the fact that he means Willy Bum. Is actually, as I've just said that, Nigel Piggle puts in the chat, I'll give you Willy Cam. That's not a reference back to his message earlier about watching a bit of Geordie after going out early on in qualifying. He did say he'd stream it. No one wants to see that though. Skippit comes across the line at 1:11.4 for the AlphaTauri driver. Then he might need to set another time there, but that was on 3-lap on soft, so I say he might need to. He probably will definitely want to, because otherwise he'll be starting the race, of course, on very worn tyres. Obviously, we run in F1 2021 the last season's rules, and obviously it's changed for this season. The drivers will have to start on the tyres that they set their best time on in Q2, as everyone knows, I'm sure, that is watching the stream. And I'm not good. Still on the medium tyres, and they're 3 laps old now, TJ, so I imagine he'll have to come in and change, because they'll be awful on the start, even if he gets some representative time in.
yeah, definitely. I mean, I don't know how bad tyre wear is. That's the only thing I don't know about around here. But yeah, I'd still be tempted to put a new set on. Although he has just gone purple sector 2. Obviously, we know the graphics can lie to us.
They always lie. I never take anything from those graphics. He'll go over the line now and do a 1:40. You watch him as he comes down the second to last straight and down into the final chicane, looking to keep it clean. He does this time. Third time lucky, coming over the line then. It's a 1:10.1.
Wow, okay, so the graphics weren't lying to us. Wow.
The graphics weren't lying the first time.
I mean, wow. On the medium tyres, that's... I can only imagine his pace on the soft tyres. Yeah, beat that one, boys.
Heavy. Hooked that lap up absolutely brilliantly. 4-lap old, those medium tyres as well. Perhaps to just put a little bit more emphasis on how good that time is from I'm Not Good, believe it or not. Every time I say that name, he does something well. He's a bit of a fraudulent name there for I'm Not Good. Clearly, he's a little bit good with a 1:10.1. Valente about to start his first flying lap of the session. The graphic shows perhaps he's waiting till later on in the session to get his time in on the soft tyres, and we can see the graphic on the screen. It's accurate. A lot of the drivers then who have set times on medium tyres switching to the softs then. We had a prediction in the chat, Nigel Piggle. Adrian will do mediums. Well, he was bang on the money with that one. He just crossed the line with a 1:10.3 then. As the AlphaTauri man, as Valente invalidates his fast run then. And Tadas and Willibum, who were both out on track, choosing to come back into the pits then. So they will not complete their flying laps, and it'll be interesting to see if Tadas changes onto the soft tyre. Just over 5.5 minutes to go now. A bit quiet out on track at the moment. I'm Not Good will start on his medium tyres as he has retired from the session. And we see a very jumpy Mercedes coming out of the pits. imagine that's Diamond. It's not Diamond. I'll take it back. It's Hobnob. Coming out onto the track. I'll take it all back. I'm so sorry, Diamond. Your connection's absolutely perfect. Here's Hobnob coming out on track then on the soft tyres, as we mentioned, then switching over from the mediums to the softs then. TJ with not so many drivers setting times at the moment. Let's have a bit of a chat then as to what drivers we think are in trouble here in this late part of Q2.
So TJ, Reggie and Skirrid are definitely in trouble. Hobnob, he doesn't get a lap and he's in trouble as well. Soprano Legends, I probably think he's on the bubble. But Ballotin and Tadas are very quick drivers, as we've seen in previous races. I expect them to get into the 110s. And Willy Bum as well, he has got pace, so yeah, I think and Soprano Legend downwards are in some serious trouble.
Yeah, as we saw there, you were just mentioning TJ, who put a time in of a 110.7 on the soft tyres. Good improvement from him, gets himself out of trouble for now, anyway, up to 5th place. Valente as well, as you predicted, get himself into the 110s, 110.8 from him to go 6th. Fastest then, we've got Mongo coming into the pits, 3 minutes 40 on the clock. Will he have enough time to get in, get another set of those soft tyres and then go back out, or will he call it a day with that 110.8 then? Who have we got coming through the final corner? I think it's Willy Bum back to start his lap on his outlap. Red G as well, 12th and 14th then, going to cross the line and start the final laps. They hope will take them out of the bottom 4 this part of qualifying then. We've got, I think it's TJ coming back round, and yet he's into the pits then, so it is Hobnob. As we've just been told in the chat, Hobley is massive everywhere he goes. Well, let's see if Hobley is massive. I'm assuming Hobley is Hobnob. Just going to put the 2 and 2 together there and guess. Educated, and he's coming to the pits.
I mean, I imagine he's got wing damage coming to the pits, and he's gonna struggle to come back out and set a lap, I imagine.
Yeah, 2 minutes 30. It's going to leave it very tight to get those tyres turned around. Tadas then with a 110.5 to go 4th fastest. That will surely see him through on the medium tyres then. So at the moment, out of the top 10, we have got 5 currently on the medium tyres, as Diamond goes fastest at 110.0 on the softs. A big all there from TJ. What's happening, TJ?
Reggie's just come round the final corner. I'm not sure he's managed to keep it, but he had a massive snap. Caught it, snapped again, smacked the wall, and then he got himself linked down. Oh, and he's just crashed out. Okay.
Yeah, we did catch that one on stream. Reggie, he did have front wing damage. I did note he did have a little bit. It's only an end fence missing, but he seemed to understeer. He's gone into the wall then and out at turn 1. So he is definitely out then. So we'll lose another 3 drivers, and there's another one we'll lose. Skivid then. So only 2 more to go then. Out of this session, Skivid and Red G both out, and we'll start 13th and 14th then for the race. Max is in trouble at the moment in 10th for the 111.0. He's had to go out on the soft tyres, and I imagine he was really trying to avoid that. Keeping it clean with a bit of oversteer through the final corner, but does just about keep it pointing in a straight line. And goes 6th fastest then with a 110.4. But Mongo now on the cusp of dropping out. Soprano has invalidated then. Soprano Legend, I don't think he'll have enough time to get back around again. I think he's out. I wish I could confirm for certain, but there's a yellow flag out in sector 1. Yep, there we go. 40 seconds left. He won't make it round.
Hobnob's pushing as well. He's on his out lap. He's coming into onto the final straight now. He's got 30 seconds to get off it and try to get his lap started, which he should do comfortably, I think.
Should do, yeah. 20 seconds at the moment. In fact, Soprano Legend has very suspectly gone around the track quite quickly. Going to be 10 seconds here into the final chicane. It might be touch and go as to whether he makes it onto another flying lap. Hobnob definitely made it. Soprano, who we mentioned, didn't look like he was going to make it.
Yes. What?
I don't think he is. I think he's just made it. Just made it across the line. He hasn't got the checkered flag next to his name, at least.
I mean,
So he looks like...
I don't know how he managed to get back, but I mean, it was very suspicious he got back round in all fairness.
Back around very quickly as Mongo then crosses the line. He did invalidate, but his time would have been enough to put him into 8th place, but we saw him jump the final chicane. So therefore, he is now the driver in danger of Soprano and Hobnob. It will be Hobnob across the line first then. Out of these two, Hobnob improving by 600ths at the moment. It's not enough unless he has a mighty final sector to put him through into the final part of qualifying. Then let's see how he tackles this final chicane then. Is anyone else on a lap apart from these two now? So it's all down to what happens here. There's a yellow flag out, but it's just cleared by the time he gets onto the pit straight. Hugs the inside wall, crosses the line. It's enough to go 11th and put Soprano down to 12th, but can he get himself out of the bottom 4? Crosses the line, and he does indeed. P4 for the Haas driver.
Yeah, fantastic lap from Soprano there. Yeah, he showed his pace last week as well, so yeah, that'll be interesting. I mean, the guy I just pointed out, probably balloting. He almost got knocked out of Q2.
Did 10th fastest, and only by 0.008 of a second did he make it through. There is your top 10 that are through to the final part of qualifying. Then we lose Mongo, Hobnob, Skirrid and Red G, who we saw put it in the wall. Unfortunately, I think the talking point there really is though, how close did Soprano leave it to get over the line for his last lap?
Yeah, he left it really close. I mean, I suppose it's the risk of Canada that if you keep invalidating your laps, you know, you are going to push it to the line in. I don't think he'd want to push it that close.
Definitely wouldn't have in an ideal world. Then here we are for the start of Q3. Quick look while we wait for cars to get out on track at the chat. And Nigel Piggle requesting a serious Q3 poll, please. David Lowface is around and wants to put up a poll for Q3. Keep your eyes on that in the chat. We'll see if we get one live, and you can have your pick for poll then. The viewers can choose who they want. I think he's limited to a selection of drivers though, so don't be disheartened if your name isn't on the list. He might just make another option and list everybody, but we'll see. There then, and we've got Dope Vipers, Hob in the mud. Hob indeed in the mud. Then Leon Brusby saying must have been literally more than 3 seconds. Yeah, it was very close indeed. Over the line for Soprano. Drive Forever says yes, Soprano of course. Soprano legend representing AMS Drive's team in Tier 3 this evening. He'll be driving tomorrow as we get underway with Tier 1 drivers at the same time tomorrow night. And let's see what else we've got. Lola Lulu has subbed with Prime. What a legend. What a legend. Lola Lulu there. With better half, as we always say, of the Locker Partnership. That was a nice sub on Twitch. Many thanks for that. I'm not good. Saying other than me about to get more penalties than Piggle gets pegged, I feel good for the face. A bit drunk there. He might need to go home with that one, as the vote is up on chat. So who gets poll? Have your vote. Who's the options? We've got Diamond, Magsy, Locker, I'm Not Good, or Adrian. So I hope Tadas gets it now because he's not on that list. We'll see. We'll see. It's Adrian who's going to be the first driver to set us a time then in Q3 here. And he is currently tied with Locker on the vote at the moment in the chat. Get your votes in, people. Let's see if democracy doesn't work and you inspire your chosen driver to pole position. hooking the inside here down into the final chicane. Let's see if he keeps it clean. Takes a bit of the first one, less of the second. That's the way to do it. Hugs the inside wall down towards the finish line. So 109.3 then. What a time.
Yeah, that's a fantastic time. I'm just watching some of just off the line now. I thought Locker didn't validate. I might have missed that, but Locker validated it somewhere. But yeah, there was a nice little slipstream between Diamond, Locker, and Magsy. But yeah, what a time for Adrian now. That's gonna be really hard to beat because in these times that have been set currently.
Yeah, it's over 1.1 seconds ahead of Valente. In second place at the moment, the 110.5. We saw the times, as you mentioned, trickle in over the line. Magsy third fastest for 110.5. Willy Bum 110.7. No one even near the 109s at the minute. Adrian with that 109.3. How much would Nigel Piggle like to be rivaling that time now then? I'm wondering if the votes in the chat are going to sway a little bit after seeing that time. Fantastic from him there. We saw I'm Not Good and Locker, as you mentioned, the two McLarens look like they're in trouble with their first run then. I'm Not Good now looking to get his time in. He said he felt good around here and felt good for the race as well, but does he feel good in Q3 as he's coming through the final chicane? Took too much of the second curve, I should say there, not enough of the first. That's not the way to do it. Adrian showed us how it was done, and the difference in lap time there, 110.1 from I'm Not Good, 110.2 for Locker. So both McLaren second and third at the moment. I imagine you're happy with that, TJ, but not anywhere near Adrian as it stands.
Yeah, with the movement with the McLaren boys in the P2 and 3, but yeah, it's Adrian had that car on rails. I mean, I'd expect I'm Not Good to be able to get there because I think he just matched his medium time in Q2, so he's definitely got some pace there. Lock as much as the probably listen Mrs. Locker's listening. I think he'll get a podium in the top 3. But I'm not sure whether he's got the pace in the Locker to challenge Adrian there.
Oh, that pun was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting. Oh. God, you should be arrested for that. That's awful. Absolutely awful. Oh dear. Valente has invalidated on this second run then. So not many drivers on laps then. They've all come back into the pits ready to get a smear set of tyres on to put their final push laps in. Then it looks like the lap from Adrian might be too much to beat here. But for second place, TJ, who are we tipping for second place? I don't think anyone's going to get close to first. I could be wrong, but I don't think they will.
I mean, there's a few drivers here that could get P2, obviously. We've got Locker and I'm Not Good there. Tadas, we know he's a quick driver. Balatin. I think I'm going to tip it to I'm Not Good because I think he's got a lot more. I think he has got more pace than the time he set.
You seem to pick Valente quite a bit, you know, when we're commentating. I think you do fancy Valente with the pace sometimes, and hopefully he comes good for you this week around Canada. So Magsy's gone a bit early for his final run. Then he's out there at the moment. I don't think he'll get another time in after this. So he's choosing. Oh, he's invalidated as well.
Oh no! Oh,
the final chicane, so he'll have to go around again. He's not going to be able to set a fast lap now then. Diamond is going to be able to set a fast lap, and he's 2/10 up at the moment through the first sector. Let's see what his time is. Delta, I should say, through the second. He's 7/10 up then, so that will put him near second place. Diamond, who was on the vote for pole position, his time not quite enough to get close to Adrian as it stands, but it might be enough to put him ahead of I'm Not Good, who's currently in second. Down the penultimate straight now. Will he ace this final chicane and take a leaf out of Adrian's book? Very good indeed. I think he slightly brushed the wall but gets away with it, crosses the line. It's a 109.8 then. So a very good time from Diamond there to put it second fastest.
I think it's raining. I'm pretty certain I've just seen a raindrop.
TJ, our weatherman.
I could be sick. I mean, I could be seeing things here, but I'm pretty certain I've just seen it rain.
He's either seeing rain or he's got a serious medical condition. It's one of the two. No idea. Don't think it's raining just yet. Soprano coming through the final chicane, gets it all wrong as well. His lap won't count now. T-Jerks will though. Let's see what time he puts in as he comes across the line, hugging the inside wall to 110.9. Cannot improve from that ninth place. Although I think I just saw a spot of rain actually, or
See, I thought
maybe now
I think
maybe now I'm just thinking it.
I think I'm going mad, but I'm certain I saw rain. But it doesn't look like it's raining.
Yeah, I don't know. Who knows? It's just the odd spot every now and then. Maybe it's just a bird flying over that wanted to relieve himself. Who knows? As Willy Bum then through sector 2 isn't quite improving on his fastest effort so far, but he has got a sector to go to try and improve on that 110.7, which currently has him alongside his teammate, and he chooses to get out of it, come into the pits and try and put another set of tyres on. Maxi though is going to continue on his flying lap. He must have a good delta. And he comes across the line. And it's a 110.0 then, puts him third fastest at the moment. Half a second improvement there from Magsy. Good time from him, considering he's got 2 lap old softs on. And I don't think he'll get round again, so that is no better than third, I think, for the Williams then. And Willy Bum has retired in the session, so not looking to come out again. Balente has invalidated as well. TJ, your pick to get that second place. Not looking like he's going to get the job done at the moment. Adrian's come back out again on a lap, believe it or not. He still thinks he can go faster somehow.
I mean,
that's a bit scary.
He's certainly showing up potentially some of the tier 2 and tier 1 guys at that time already.
Now, he's going to go around again. Let's see what he gets. But there's more drivers about to set a time. It's not all about Adrian.
And he's invalidated.
Going to go on a fast lap. Oh, Locker's invalidated the final chicane as well. Oh, Locker, showing yourself up in front of Laura Lulu.
Maybe he got distracted by Laura Lulu again.
Oh yeah, we've had that one before, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
She come in the room, yeah. Early through the final chicane. Tadas stuck in P3 while we were discussing Adrian and Locker there, so he's put Magsy down to 4th place then at the moment. I think it's T-Jerk now coming into the pits as well. Magsy isn't going to improve, I don't think. He's going around again for another push lap. These will be very old tyres. He's giving us a bit of entertainment, if nothing else, in terms of lap times. T-Jerk retires and will start no higher than 7th. Then Tadas looking to go around again here through and survives the wall of champions. Crosses the line, it's a 110.0, doesn't quite improve on his fastest lap so far. Adrian, as you mentioned, invalidated, but does have time to try and show everybody up once again. Locker is going to cross the line and get a lap in then to kind of keep it under pressure. Laura needs to stay out the room at this point. Valente is also another fast lap there, so we've got quite a few drivers that are still going to get times in before the end of the session here.
Yeah, one guy that's potentially messed up here is I'm not good. He's on an out lap, he's not going to get across the line in time.
Indeed he isn't. I'm not good, who set that pace on the medium tyres, is not going to get the chance to show us what he can do on the softs, and what he's done there. Cases on the wall, but you ain't going to gain time by doing that. Magsy's slowed down as well. Is he out of fuel? I wonder. Might be. Who knows? We didn't see. But he's into the pits now anyway, so he won't improve. Adrian also invalidated as well. Tadas is on a flying lap, but he's also not going to improve then. So what has FPRL Locker got in store for us? I'm not going to use TJ's terrible pun that we heard earlier on. I'm going to keep it simple. And he comes through the final chicane. He invalidates beautifully. Beautifully. That was one of the best invalidations I've seen through there today. Valente following him as well. Taking a leaf out of Locker's book there. Soprano as well. 3 in a row. All invalidating on the same corner. That's how you do it, lads. If you want to invalidate through there, watch the last 5 seconds of Q3 and you'll see 3 drivers doing it in a row. Beautiful. So I'm laughing, but I'll be the same on Friday.
I'll be the same. No doubt I'll be the same, yeah.
Yeah, oh, it's going to be awful. Going to be a complete poo show, I'll say, on our PG-friendly Wednesday nights. Of course, children in the stream at this point. One child, of course, Nigel Piggle. Very active in the chat tonight. There you have it. There's your top 10 then for Tier 3 and the race around Circuit Gilles Villeneuve. Adrian taking pole position, 109.3, then nearly half a second ahead of Diamond in second place for Mercedes in his first qualifying session in FPRL. Tanas in third, Magsy fourth, the McLaren's line astern on the grid, fifth and sixth, I'm Not Good, and Locker TJ seventh. Valente, TJ's pick for second, only managing 8th place. It was Willy Bum in 9th, I believe, and Soprano, who takes 10th in the Haas this week. Let's see if he can find the race pace of last week. Please, nobody ready up. I'm dying for a drink. And I need to relieve myself like that bird did.
Whee!
In the late part of Q3 there. Let's see. Have you all read the rule book? As TJ would say. And no, you haven't.
No. Oh dear. Oh no.
Of course you haven't. I'm going to quickly go and get a beverage as TJ takes you around the formation lap. Because unfortunately Tier 3 is home to some idiots who do not read the rule book.
Yeah, and I'll let timer count down, then I'll go through the drivers again. Hope the drivers have time to set the strategies they need, but I doubt they have. Right. So, in P20, our championship leader on comeback, Snedden, he'll be open for a really quick getaway here. Hopefully keeps it nice and clean, and he is going to try and do a first to last challenge to watch the space of this driver. P19, David Lott faced in the Ferrari, very disappointed with his qualifying, but high hopes for the race. P18 is Bad Tom, P17 is Force Manura, P16 is Panic, P15 is Nigel Piggle, who was a fraud and dropped it in Q1. So he'll be looking for a better result in the race for definite. P14 we got iReggie, 13 we got Skivered 92, P12 we got Hobnob, 11 we've got Mongo, and our top 10 for today is Soprano Legend in P10, P9 is Willy Bum, P8 is Ballotin, P7 we got T-Jerk, P6 we got FPRL Locker, P5 I'm Not Good, P4 we got Magsy, and our top 3 are Tadas in P3, Diamond in P2, and our pole sitter, Adrian.
Adrian, you absolutely showed everyone up in qualifying, it should be said. Little Tier 3 fraud. Starts on the medium tyres.
Yeah.
Thank you for that there on the formation lap, TJ.
Anytime, it's a pleasure.
Do we know who the fraud is yet? They're ready up early?
No one said anything yet. Oh, I got me my. Oh no. What for?
Whoever you are, hang your heads in shame. Hang your heads in shame. As everyone lines up for the start of the race. Snedden at the back of the field with a big gap at the moment to the guys in front. He really wants the advantage. On the medium tyres, it should be said, only 6 drivers on the medium tyres for the start of the race, and only 3 outside of the top 10 opting to choose the medium tyres. And Adrian, our pole sitter, on the mediums. Snedden on the back of the grid on the mediums. Who's got it right? We'll only find out in 35 laps time then. Green flag waves. The lights aren't on. Why is everyone not loading in? There we go. It's about time. 5 red lights for the Tier 3 Canadian Grand Prix. And they're away, then down into the short run into turn 1. Adrian's got a brilliant start off the line then. So too has Tadas. It looks like he's got the jump on Diamond up the inside into turn 1. Adrian is indeed away. Carnages as a Williams spun on the track. And Aston Martin collects him. There's also an Alpine, I think it was, travelling across the grass there at turn 1, becoming a lawnmower for the circuit there. Snedden up to 16th then, Bad Tom up to 12th as well then, so it looks like some drivers have really profited from that start. Force Manure up to 10th place as well, but Red G is going to have front wing damage there. And it looks like that no one's retired, and I can't believe it considering we saw Magsy it was, the Williams, backwards at turn 1.
I think he got clipped from behind, which started like chaos. I mean, really unfortunate from Reggie there. There was absolutely nothing he could do, and yeah, it's an unfortunate turn 1 lap on racing instance.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if we get any points of view of that come into the stewarding team, and we can have a look to see if anyone thought they were wronged down into turn 1. I cannot believe I would say that most of the drivers, apart from Red G of course, who unfortunately suffered that damage, everyone did very well to get out the way of that Williams. No one is retired, as I said, from the race. Lots of drivers in the pits though. 4 in, Nigel Piggle, 6 in now, Nigel Piggle, Balente, Locker, 7 into the pits now. Nigel Piggle, Balente, TJ, Locker, Magsy, David Lowface, Red G, all into the pits there. It'll be interesting to see what tyres they put on at this point. A lot of them going for the mediums, and it would seem. I think Nigel Piggle might have gone for the softs though, TJ.
Yeah, that's a bit of a bold move from Nigel there, but I suppose tyres is only have 1 lap. But I think that just proved there about the amount of Nigel's going to have a penalty.
It was just speeding in the pit lane.
Ah, okay, sorry.
Speeding in the pit lane, unfortunately. 5 seconds for him there.
Right. But yeah, so I think we've just seen the true extent of what happened to lap 1 there in turn 1. That, yeah, as you mentioned, there was 6 of our drivers about to come in through new front wings. Interesting that Locker's gone hard there, so that suggests he's going for a bit of a longer game here. Whereas I'd also have to pit a lot sooner, and he'll be hoping for a safety car to back the pack back up.
Yep. Oh, as for Locker then, all those drivers from 14th down, I'll be wishing there would be a safety car now. Of course, Nigel Piggle, as we mentioned, into the pit lane, getting that 5-second penalty. Snedden now into the pits as well then, so he made good progress off the start. He gets with those mediums onto the soft tyres then, and I'm wondering if he picked up damage on his front wing as well. Yeah,
I've just been on board with him. He has had a new front wing on. So he'll be really gutted about that. But once again, he's mirrored Nigel's strategy there.
Mirroring Nigel's strategy indeed, but Locker at the moment then. So really the championship leaders all at the back of the field. Mongo, they're up to P5 now. Oh, we've got a DNF.
I was trying to get to it, but it looks like Soprano Legend dropped it on the just before sector 3 ends. And I think Force Manure just blacked it.
Virtual safety car at the moment. Surely there has to be a full safety car though, to the relief of those drivers at the back of the field. It is indeed a full safety car, and drivers have to do very well to avoid the 2 stricken cars on the circuit. Looks like the most got away with it, it would seem. And it looks like those drivers who pitted earlier on, their wishes have come true, and now the rest of the field choosing to come into the pits now then.
Yeah, this is interesting. So them soft runners are wanting to get rid of their tyres so early. I mean, that suggested tyre wear's pretty high. Oh, Nigel's out.
Nigel's out?
He's hit the pit lane. He's hit the pit lane.
That's very, very peculiar place there. I was just trying to look at where he actually dropped here. It's kind of in the middle of nowhere. I don't know what's happened there.
Nigel.
It'll be interesting to get some feedback on that one to see what happened there. It's completely in the middle of nowhere. Nigel Piggle.
Yeah.
And the result of all that is that Adrian and Skivid Two AlphaTauris are now 1 and 2.
Well,
We've had some feedback from Nigel Piggle.
yeah,
As we're under the safety car, we'll discuss the feedback. Nigel Piggle says Valente goes to the pits, then brakes and turns as I'm going in.
yeah. So I suppose that's one of the bad things about the kind of pit lane, that it's on the end of that long straight, and guys are still going really quick. So if he was faking going to the pit lane, he probably does a complete wrong time balancing. And obviously, it's unfortunate that I just retired.
So I did, before the race, try to ready a few little facts based on the previous races we've seen so far, but based on the drivers, where they are in the field, they're all pretty useless at this point. As I mentioned that Snedden's got a win so far, Nigel Piggle's got 2 wins, Tadas has got a win, Locker's got a win as well. Stigmeister, who's been promoted to Tier 2, had the other win. My point about Nigel Piggle was that he's 3rd in the championship, but many think that he's the fastest in the field on raw pace. One to watch in this race, but he's no longer going to be in this race. Unfortunately for him, as we see Adrian hit the wall under safety car. Looks like Locker's got into the back of Red G under safety car then, and got himself a 5-second penalty.
I'm not sure what just happened there. I think Reggie actually overtook Locker. I think Locker tried to get the place back and Reggie blocked him. But either way, I think Locker's now got front. Yeah, he's got damage on his front wing. He's got to put him down your front wing.
Well, yes, he will. That's how he got the 5-second penalty, and that's how he's got some wing damage as well, and that looks like his race is pretty much ruined unless there's another safety car. I'll be interested to see if anything comes into the stewarding team about that one as well, but it will be the 2 AlphaTauris and to lead us away on the safety car restart.
Yeah,
Let's see if Adrian knows how to take them away under safety car.
That's a really nice clean safety car restart, that is. And he's caught Skivid sleeping there as well. He's only got a 1.4 second advantage.
Yeah, as Hobnob goes up the inside of Skivid into turn 1, then Willybum trying to stick it round the outside of the AlphaTauri, driving Tadas looking to try and sneak a place from Willybum there, so he's trying to make a move. They're going to be 3 abreast into turn 3 here. Is it going to end in tears? No, Willybum gets it done around the outside. Tadas filters in behind Skivid then, and they stay 3rd, 4th and 5th then. Willybum, the only driver to make and profit from that move, skimming all over the place. Looks like he hasn't got any grip at all, and Tadas looking to take advantage of that now. Down into the braking zone on the inside there at the end of this DRS straight, and gets the move done there. Tadas, of course, no safety car though until 2 laps after, so that was a DRS-less pass by Tadas, and a good one at that, but Skimmid is drastically falling back now as Mongo is now ahead. So from 2nd to 6th by the end of lap after the safety car, it seems.
Yeah, he's perhaps switching on mediums well enough during the safety car period, but yeah, he's being swallowed up currently. While you've been talking about the overtakes and Skivid, I've been watching Snadden. He's got himself up into points in P9 now, and he's hunting down I'm Not Good. If he gets taken over by 2 people on the straight. So one lap is pretty much got nearly out the points.
Yeah, down to 8th place now. He's giving 9th even with Snedden getting past him now. 6th lap bold mediums, as you said. One of only 2 drivers to not stop before the safety car on those mediums. Adrian and Skimmid both started the race on their sets of tyres, and Adrian making it work, but unfortunately Skimmid unable to do so. Willybum is able to get those new mediums up to scratch though. He's up to 2nd place now, even though he picked up a 3-second penalty. Hasn't broke the DRS to Hobnob yet, which he will get on the next lap, of course, so he's still got some time to try and get a 2nd ahead of Hobnob, but a big swapper there for Willybum. Does well to stop it from going round, keep it in a straight line, then carries on in 2nd place.
Yeah, there's a nice little Willybum is pulling. Oh, well, he's coming in the pits. Willybum, is that right? Adrian's coming in the pits. That's a really early stop.
next then. Very strange one there. I wonder if you picked up some kind of front wing damage. You only did 6 or 7 laps on those medium tyres, looking to get rid of them already then. So Willy Bum takes the lead. We're watching a battle at the moment between 11th, 12th and 13th. David Lawface looking to make a move on Red G. Couldn't get it done. Down into turn 1. Tell you what, this is the best thing about a safety car. Bunching the field up and giving us some good action. David unable to keep it behind Red G here. One driver to touch on TJ Magsy. At the moment down in 10th place. He's had 3 podiums out of the 5 races he's done so far, but he's nowhere near a podium at the moment.
No, I know he has been busy, unfortunately, with university, so I don't think he's had the practice that he wants to have around here. I don't know whether that's affecting him slightly, but it's still a long way to go. Obviously, strategy could play a big hand here. Safety cars, don't know, so he'll be definitely pushing for a podium place. But yeah, as you mentioned, he is quite a bit back currently. Just a quick on Adrian as well. I can confirm he did have front wing damage, which is the reason why he did come into the pits to get to change that front wing.
Big shame for Adrian. He puts the medium tyres on, so he will have to make another pit stop. Not that I think he would try and get those mediums till the end, but he will have to take another mandatory stop to use another set of tyres then. One driver to touch on is probably Snedden at the moment, TJ. Starting at the back, in 6th place at the moment. He's on the soft tyres. I think he's basically, he knows that everyone else in the field has to make a pit stop apart from perhaps I'm Not Good and might look to take those tyres to the end along with Panic. But in terms of the guys around him, he's on the same strategy. He's kept it penalty-less. Is there a chance we could see a 20th to 1st place here?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, he did jokingly say he was going to try to do it before the race, and it does look like he is going to do it. We know he's a very, very quick driver. So yeah, he'll be looking to maximise these softs and looking to match the strategies ahead of him.
And a flag out at the moment, bit of contact I believe in this 3-way fight we were watching earlier between David Lawface, Red G and Bad Tom. Red G still ahead of the Ferrari at the moment. Bad Tom got up the inside of David Lawface. We got given a terrible camera angle, but it looked like David was just squeezed off the road there by Bad Tom. No damage for David Lawface, I think, at this point. But it was a bit of a dirty move there from Bad Tom, who's now in the points with Hobnob coming into the pits. Yeah,
it's it's been straight off Bad Tom in the past couple of races. I think this is his 3rd race, but he's been known to do a couple of moves like that, and perhaps just needs to calm it down ever so slightly. But we'll see if anything comes to the stewards about that one. And no doubt the stewards will take the appropriate action or give what is needed.
Of course, we might be about to see a pass of the lead here. Willy Bum with no ERS. Tadas with the ERS and the DRS into the final corner and makes light work of that move there. So Tadas up into 1st place then, ahead of Willy Bum. But as we said, carrying penalties at the moment. Tadas with 3 seconds, Willy Bum 6 already, Diamond with 6, Mongo with 3. So Snedden looking very pretty in 5th place at the moment. Bad Tom is out, and he's crashed with David Lawface then, and it's another safety car through the final corner.
Yeah, I'm trying to see what is it on the... So...
Just seen them on the inside of the final chicane. You can just see them at the back of the picture.
Yeah, so I wonder if Bad Tom's had a snap, and unfortunately David just lets him through the corner.
Well, we saw on the lap before, didn't we, TJ? Them two. Bad Tom threw it up the inside of David Lawface, forced him wide off the chicane. I'm just wondering if it's at the same corner that we saw that incident. I'm just wondering if there's been a bit of a round 2 there.
Yeah, I think that's a very high possibility.
Have we seen it? Yeah.
I wouldn't be shocked to see some clip going to the stewards if that is the case.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if one driver or the other tried the reverse of what happened previously and it's ended even worse than it did Last time then, many drivers coming into the pits, although we can't see it on the graphic, very helpfully, at the side of the screen. Apparently no one's in the pits. Oh, there we go. We've got 7 drivers in the pit lane at the moment. Medium tyres on for a lot of them. Willy Bum onto the hards, and he'll surely try and stretch those till the end, but I can't imagine it's going to be massively competitive.
No, not at all. So yeah, I'm not quite sure why he's chose that strategy. Unless he hasn't any mediums left. Although I do think he's only done one stop currently, so it's interesting that it's Willy Bum. But yeah, there's a couple of guys on hards now. You've got Veggies who's gone to hards. I'm not good. Panic's on the hards. FPR Locker's coming for the mediums. He'll be hoping for a better safety car restart here. He's been a bit unfortunate and caught up in a few incidents.
Yeah, one driver that this safety car does not benefit is Snedden, who was on the favourable tyre, going along very well, very close to the lead of the field, and now he's found himself in 8th place with a bit of work to do.
Yeah, definitely. Although, given the pace scale on them softs, I think he'll make light work for these guys in front of him. Obviously, we didn't get to see his pace in qualifying, so none of the drivers knew what pace he had. We didn't know what pace he had. But he's definitely on the ball again this weekend. Yeah, I can see him finish on the podium, assuming he keeps it nice and clean, and probably penalty free as well. The penalties are going to play a big part in this race.
Penalties will play a big part, especially if we get a late safety car, and while we are behind this second safety car this evening, it's a good time to go to our lovely loyal Twitch chat to see what's going down in there. Dope Viper saying Willy's gone hard. I don't think I need to say anything after that one. We'll leave it there. Revenge of the Christ above this track is bad. Yep. Well, you'll find out tomorrow when you're racing with your Tier 1 clan. FPRL Mr. Whippy still around, saying Snedden no pains, thumbs up. Yeah, we were giving that praise as well, so nice to see it's being recognised. Nigel Piggle says effing idiots, honestly. I imagine that's to do with Benente. In the pit lane, Laura Lulu says God knows what's happened to Locker. Well, God knows. Go and check on him, love. Make sure he's alright. Down in 15th. He might need cheering up after this one, if you know what I mean. See if we can wish him some luck in this late part of the race. What else have we got going down now? I think what just happened. People getting very angry. I don't know who Dope Vipers is, but he's put some fantastic comments in the chat tonight. I don't know if he's in the league or not, or if he's got a different Twitch name to what his gamertag might be. But yeah, some cracking comments tonight. Willy's gone hard. That's my personal favourite. As Diamond then, he's going to get us underway behind the safety car. He's gone very early then. There's a Pitts and front wing lying on the track. The Red Bull front wing from Bad Tom lying on the track. TJ though up in second place, looking to try and get behind him now. These two at the front haven't pit yet, unfortunately, at this stage. Tadas behind them will be looking to get past them as quickly as possible. I'm Not Good picking up a 3 seconds penalty on the restart. William gets a 3 seconds. I can't keep up with all these track infringements at the minute. Plenty as we expected. Tadas then looking to try and go up the inside of TJ there. Unable to make the move stick. No DRS, of course, so he might find it difficult to get past. Will he need DRS down at the end of this straight where he would usually have it? And he doesn't make the move and filters back in behind the Alpine. Remains third place. Diamond taking advantage at the moment. And Snedden Fraud, who we've been complimenting for the past 14 laps, gets his first 3 second penalty. So in fact, TJ, this safety car might have benefited Adrian the most, who took that early pit stop with the damage, but he's back up in 4th place now. Yeah, it definitely has benefited him. One thing to note that Willy Bum's really struggling on them hard tyres, which is the chase in this game. Everyone knows the hard tyres aren't great. You take about 4 or 5 laps to switch on, so I expect to see him drop back a little bit more as Mongo's looking for a move, and he made contact.
Don't think there's any damage there. Well, visually any damage or intended there. And Hobnob just tried to send it down the side of Mongo. Smacked him as well. There's a good little battle here between Mongo, Hobnob and Snedden.
Mongo, Hobnob and Snedden, we should probably say that Snedden might need to be a bit careful here because we gave the drivers a vote as to whether they wanted ghosting on this evening and they opted for no. And if Mongo and Hobnob get a little bit closer than they did through turn 1, Snedden might get caught up in an incident, so he might need lightning fast reactions to keep his car in this race if they give it the argy-bargy again to the start of the next lap. And Adrian up to third place now ahead of T-Jerk, who we expected to struggle, and there's a bit of a train behind T-Jerk here, and it will become a DRS train on the next lap, of course.
Yeah, I'm still watching this battle between Snedden, Hobnob and Mongo. And Willie Bum's getting involved in it a little bit. Snedden's got so much more pace than Hobnob, but he can't get the move done without DRS. Although I think he just hit the wall.
There's a lot of front wing. Yeah, there's a lot of debris on the circuit. We saw it for the final day. It looks like, yeah, it was Ferrari front wing, I think it was. Very red.
It doesn't look like he's got any damage visually, but he definitely give the world champions a good hit. I'm surprised he hasn't got any damage.
Yeah, there looks to be a lot of debris off that final corner that cleared itself up pretty quickly, but yeah, it'll be interesting to see if anyone takes a pit stop then. Willie Bum falls down to 6th behind Mongo, then Tadas all over the back of Diamond very quickly as we expected, so looking good at the moment. Tadas leads to the podium. TJ's getting very excited about something.
So Hobnob's just done a move on Willie Bum. I'm not sure what happened, but it looked like Hobnob just stopped at the elevator and put his brakes on, and Willie Bum was just smacked in the back of him and gave himself front wing damage.
See if Willie Bum needs to come into the pits then. On that basis, if he has gone straight into the back of him, he will need to come in, and he does indeed come in then. As you can see, yeah, missing the front end fence there. But coming into the pits then, Hobnob apparently stamping on the brakes in front of the Williams driver then. We'll have to see if anything comes in about that post-race, but it looks like the stewards could have a busy week this week, TJ.
For definite, yeah. It's just... So I think we had, we'll give big backs on this while we wait for some reaction come on, but we had a debate whether this was a street circuit, and we couldn't quite decide if it was classed as a street circuit. And as you mentioned, there was a vote, and everyone voted for to keep ghosting off, and I think some of the drivers might be regretting that decision right now.
Yeah, I think it was 19 people said it wasn't, and 16 people voted in favour. It was very close, the vote, anyway. And as you said, I think a few of the drivers, I know David Longface is ruining that decision. But it's all in for the drama, isn't it? As you can see, 5 drivers out of the session already, as we see Snedden up to 4th place, ahead of the mighty Mongo, down to 5th now then. On his medium tyres, T-Jerk has dropped way back on those 50 lap on mediums. I imagine Diamond is going to be feeling the same now. With the time left in the race, TJ just over 8, just under 18 laps now. Do you think AJ can get those mediums to the end? He might have to stop again.
Yeah, I think he has got to stop again. I think he's trying to push him over 18 laps. I think that would push him right to the limit. I imagine he's going to try and get onto the softs again, but I can't see how he pushes the mediums to the end from this point.
Indeed. Well, he is all over the back of Tadas despite the tyre difference. 4 laps between the pair of them, and that Adrian looks like he has got the pace over the Alfa Romeo at the moment. Goes a little bit tighter through the hairpin. I know drivers like to take slightly differing lines through that corner to get a little bit more acceleration down this straight if they're looking for an overtake, but Adrian looking to do a bit of defensive work then down into the final chicane. The Alpha Tauri, of course, with the DRS not doing a bad time and throwing it up the inside there, keeping it clean, but will he have to run down into turn 1? It looks like he will, and it is a clean pass under DRS and into the braking zone. He has got the move done for the lead then.
Yeah, great move there. brilliant example of what you're supposed to do for the final corners into turn one. I mean, he has got the pace, so I imagine he's going to try to pull away from DRS as soon as he can. But it's obviously hard at this point because due to DRS about to come up with Tadas. Quick one on Sned, and it looked like he had a bit of a bad lap last time. Mongo was keeping on the back of him. It looked like Sned's finally got back under control and finally reducing that gap between himself and Diamond.
Yep. Will look to try and get that gap down. He should get the gap down considering Diamond's tyres are double the tyre age of his own. And Adrian out in front, not carrying that penalty at the moment. He has got slightly older tyres than those behind him, but he hasn't got a penalty crucially that could come into play. Diamond with that 9-second at the moment, along with Hobnob, both Mercedes in the mud in terms of penalties. I'm not good as well with the 9-second, and then you've got a few 6 seconds around. Mongo's completely run out of VRS down this back straight here, so really showing how hungry this circuit is, and we saw him beautifully cut the final chicane there and get himself another 3 seconds then. So the field's spreading out a little bit after that second safety car. So some drivers, especially those at the back, like Willie Boom and Panic End and T-Jerk, perhaps hoping for another safety car if possible. And I think it is possible with the nature of the circuit and what we've seen so far tonight.
Yeah, definitely. All it takes is, I'm surprised so many drivers have dropped it coming up the final corner actually with a bit of loosey and a bit of a snap. So once again, as the tyres start wearing down, drivers posture, we might see that. Obviously 3 and 4, we haven't seen many drivers at the wall there, but it's a possibility we lose it there. Perhaps a bit too much, so anything's still happen. And with the likes of TJ and Willigan, like we know some of these front runners have got to stop again. So they're not necessarily out of it, but obviously safety car bringing back into it.
Definitely, as Tadas has made a repass for the lead then, back ahead of Adrian. Adrian looking to get back behind the Alfa Romeo down into turn 1, but Tadas got the helping of the DRS with that only single detection zone then. Had the second burst of DRS and stayed ahead of Adrian then, so perhaps Adrian's tyre starting to fall off slightly now.
Yeah, it certainly looked that way. I mean, I think he put down the gap between Stan and Diamond, and he's bringing that gap down. It would suggest the tyres are beginning to side for Diamonds, and I think you're right. I think that's about the point where Adrian's tyres are not ready started dying for Diamond. I mean, if you keep the DRS, obviously, he'll keep that gap up, with a lack of grip. I mean, it goes back to what we were saying a couple of laps ago that he's going to have to stop again at some point. It's just a case of when does he stop.
Yeah, just under 15 laps to go now of this race. It looks like we could have a DRS to and fro here between the two drivers out in front. Adrian again looking to seize Tadas under DRS, and Tadas' red light flashing there. Adrian definitely the better off on the ERS at the moment. Down into turn 1, it looks like he's going to get a carbon copy of the move that we saw just a couple of laps ago up the inside. Tadas looking to fight it a little bit more this time. Hasn't managed to defend, and Adrian back in the lead. Snedden's into the pits, TJ. What's happened there?
I'm not quite sure. I'm on board with him. New front wing. He's got a new front wing now.
Oh dear. Snedden into the pits with a new front wing. I saw Diamond pitted as well. I know they weren't too far apart on the circuit. I'm just wondering if something happened between the pair of them. Snedden, who made all that progress from the last position on the grid, now back down in 14th, and all that hard work undone due to a collision and a new front wing then.
Yeah, it'd be really disappointed on that, but once again, there's still 14 laps in the race to go, so anything still happen. And the safety car, obviously some of these one guys have still got a pit, we think. He might be in the best position currently, but we don't know. It's still too early to call, I think. I'm just looking at the laps from the McLaren boys currently, and they're swapping DRS between themselves, and both pushed each other really hard, which is nice to see, well, nice racing to see anyway. But there isn't many battles on track currently, to be honest.
Well, Mongo and Hobnob are both in the pits as well, and those medium tyres, they're looking to change those already. onto the hard tyres then for Mongo. Hobnob back onto the mediums then. Interesting there whether that was another change for damage or whether that was just purely a tactical change of the tyres.
Hobnob was changing the tyres. Mongo did have to have a new front wing, unfortunately. But, I mean, Mongo's come back out on the hards at this point, and they're going to take 4 or 5 laps to warm up and really move in. I think he's made a mistake there. Unless he hasn't got any fresh sets of, another fresh set of mediums, I mean, what do you stick a set of softs on? I'm not quite sure. Has something happened between Willie Bum and Paddy?
Yeah, I'd be tempted to stick a set of the softs on Willie Bum with front wing damage, as you mentioned. Something's happened between the two of them. Just checked in the chat there. I don't know if the viewers saw that little interruption. TJ's voice is crackling apparently, so I've tried to do the good old Twitch reset. We know how fantastic is Twitch with the crackling voices, as I'm Not Good has retired then. Out of the final corner, I think. Has Locker got involved in that as well?
Yeah,
into the pits?
I'm trying to see where... Has I'm Not Good done it in the pits? I'm
Not Good is retired. He's in the chat saying, I'm done. I'm just wondering if something happened between the teammates there, because they were very close on circuit, and Locker straight into the pits, yeah, so I'm just wondering if something has happened there.
Yeah, I mean, I must admit, I did miss that. I am just checking to see if there's a front wing. No, Locker come in just purely change his tyres. There was no front wing damage for him. So I'm not quite sure what's happened there. As T-Joke spun in the end of sector 2. He's got the wing damage visually, but I'm not quite sure. Not the same as he could have damage but doesn't show visually. Adrian's come out on the soft into P3. Obviously that's a fantastic position for him right in the back of P2, but he has got a 16-second gap to make up from this point onwards.
It's better, we've solved it. Sorry, I was trying to finish your voice there, TJ, as you were talking there. Twitch giving us absolutely fantastic platform once again. Adrian, yeah, into second place there, onto a set of soft tyres. Don't know when that happened, but he's 16 seconds now off Tadas, but looking very good now for the win if he can catch up, or even get Tadas when he inevitably makes a pit stop on the medium tyres and field. Quite spread out at the moment. A little bit disappointed, to be honest with you, that there was no safety car after that collision. I'm Not Good. We've had the confirmation in the chat. There was nothing between the teammates. I believe it's something to do with I'm Not Good setup, letting him down there. So Locker gets out of jail, and Seidel will not be pulling them both into the meeting room after the race, as we've got a yellow flag out then in sector 2. I think it's Willie Bum.
Yeah, Willie Bum's facing the wrong way.
Yeah, and waiting very politely to let them through. We love to see that. Willie Bum, for a while now, and clearly knows the rules. I know it wasn't you that read it up, but please grasp the person up that did. Give it. Has come back out of the pits onto a new set of soft tyres, and now down in 12th place. He's looking to recover a few points from this one. Adrian looks like he's about to set the fastest lap of the race then. He has really got that gap down already to Tadas. I think he's come down by 2 seconds in the last lap then. So Adrian looking very, very good for the win at this point. Diamond now ahead of Belente then. Perhaps looking at a podium in his first FPR race, and as predicted, Adrian with the fastest lap there. But let's have a look at the penalties there, because there's quite a few penalties through the field. Tadas with the 3 seconds at the moment. Adrian not yet to get a penalty. I don't want to curse him with that one. Diamond though with 12 seconds. 2 Mercedes now, 12 seconds apiece. 12 for Diamond, 12 for Hobnob. They're looking very good for any kind of high scoring points, especially if there's a late safety car. They'll have everything crossed that there isn't, because as it stands, with Diamond's penalty, he'll drop between Snedden and Locker. That is before Snedden and Locker's penalties are applied, of course. So everyone's got penalties at the moment, so there'll be a lot of calculations to do as the drivers cross the line, as TJ picks up another one then. So I'm a little bit surprised, TJ, we've seen so many penalties, because I think we saw, what race was it earlier this season? We saw a race earlier this season, we thought there were going to be a lot of corner cutting penalties. I think only one driver got one or something like that. Didn't we have like barely any corner cutting penalties? Terrible memory.
Jeddah, maybe? That's the only track I think where penalties
It might have been Jeddah.
I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
That's probably the worst track, or second worst track for corner cut pens. Yeah, it's probably Jeddah we saw it at, but I think it goes back to the point I was saying right at the beginning that the track limits on Canada are probably the strictest on this game going. I mean, Cone Masters won't it,
Yeah.
but they definitely messed the track limits up on this track.
Yeah, it's very strict around here, and as you can see, we've got evidence by those penalty zones, so I'll leave them on the screen. They're probably the most important thing to look at the moment in terms of where drivers are going to drop as they cross the line. Of course, everything can change with a safety car. Adrian has got the gap down now between himself and Tadas to 8.8 seconds, so even if Tadas doesn't make a pit stop, it looks as though the AlphaTauri is going to get ahead of the Alfa Romeo. Tadas still looking good for a podium, obviously depending on if he chooses to swap those medium tyres out. He might choose to try and run them till the end of the race. It'll be Valente at the moment, as things stand, getting onto the podium, as well as Adrian sets the fastest lap of the race, looking for that extra point as well, of course. Snedden in 5th place, TJ. Yeah, he just damage earlier on, didn't he? He's carrying some penalties as well. Perhaps we might have seen him close to the front of the field. Do you think he'll be disappointed, or do you think, considering he started at the back, he'll take, if he comes home in P5, do you think he'll take P5?
Yeah, definitely. I still think he'll be disappointed, because I think his early stint he definitely showed a lot of pace. But yeah, it's obviously depends where everyone finished at this point. I still think he still might be our championship leader if he stays P5. I suppose that's all that matters at this point for him, is that if he wants to take the driver championship, is just get the points on the board, keep him ticking, make sure he can keep himself on the top spot.
Yeah, sure, he'll have one eye on the marathon and not the sprint, and trying to collect as many points as possible. It'll still be a good return, considering he did serve that qualifying ban this week. Very hoping he's keeps on the wars as well, because he's only 10 points now off a race ban, which of course would be catastrophic. He has got one eye on the trophy at the end of the season. We're watching a fight between Magsy and Locker at the moment, and Magsy looking to get the move done into the final chicane, and Locker leaving up the inside there. A little bit of argy-bargy between the two of them. Magsy was entitled to that, to be honest. He seemed to be the further ahead. I think we'll see anything to do with that one, but it was a bit close there for comfort for both drivers. Magsy in the end prevails and is up to 7th place.
Yeah, I was just talking about that. Hobnob and DRS and Snedden on it's the final chicane got the move done, but Snedden's over the back of Hobnob now, and we're continuing to return the compliment, I imagine.
Yep, another DRS fight occurring then, it would seem. Adrian's got the gap down now between him and Tadas to 5 seconds. I wonder at what point those soft tyres might start to tail off in terms of performance as Tadas crosses the line, and it is 5 laps to go of this Tier 3 Canadian Grand Prix then, as Red G brought out a yellow flag there. And he's still in 10th place. He'll still pick up a point, as Locker is looking for round 2 into the final chicane here with Magsy. And Actually keeping it this time, but down into turn 1. There's bits of carbon fibre all over the track there through the final chicane. Locker can't get close, unfortunately, on this occasion, so I'll run line astern for the rest of the lap. Snedden, big swapper there by Snedden as we switch to him there, all over the back of Hobnob then.
Yeah, I think we're saying similar story to what we saw earlier in the race, where the medium's just about lap 10, 11, he just dropping off so quick. Like Snedden on even with DRS, you only got about within 2-3 tenths of Hobnob, and you lost so much time for the final chicane as well. So the tyre wear does look really high on this track.
Yeah, and Tadas will do very well to get those tyres till the end. There is 4 laps to go, so he's got nothing to lose now, of course, in trying to do that. There's still a podium on for him. There's actually still a race win on for him. But I imagine Adrian will close that gap up. 4 laps to go now as we see Snedden make a brilliant move on Hobnob down into the final chicane. And he's back up into 5th place, and as Belente, I don't know if you mentioned it, has got a penalty now. He's 4.8 seconds ahead of Snedden, but with 3 seconds left in terms of penalties. So essentially the gap is 7.8 then, so I don't imagine that Snedden will be able to close that up in the space of 4 laps. But as we mentioned, I think he would take P5. Obviously it depends on what gap. You won't know this, but obviously it depends on what gap he can get between him and Diamond. But the gap is quite large at the moment. So he's not going to get Diamond on the penalties. It looks like Diamond is very close, despite having 12 seconds worth of pens, very close to getting that 3rd place.
Yeah, that's a fantastic result if he managed to keep it. I think if it was a late safety car, we know if there was going to be a late safety car, it wouldn't run now, obviously. But if there was going to be one, it would have shaped things up. But I think some of these drivers with the high penalties have got away with it.
Yeah, as a late safety car would change all that. Locker looking to the inside of Mags, then down into turn 1. Of course, this might mean nothing for Locker at the end of the day, apart from a bit of personal pride. Magsy having such significant less penalties, 9 seconds, but Magsy still can't get clear of the McLaren then, and he's back behind him for another lap. In the chat on Twitch, as we're watching this fight unfold, Nigel Pickle is absolutely fuming. Absolutely fuming, TJ, with the standards. Oh, tier 3.
I mean,
readying up early, starting on the wrong tyre, giving damage on that one. I mean, that paragraph, TJ, that could come straight into the stewarding team and just rewrite everything we know about stewarding. Very aggrieved there, Nigel Pickle, but we're glad he stuck around for the race. Laura Lulu not happy with the amount of penalties her man's getting. 18 seconds now. It's another 3 seconds. For your knowledge, Snedden gets another 3 seconds as well there. Then, so yeah, plenty of drive. He's not the only one though, Laura. Don't go too hard on him. He's not the only driver who've picked up quite a few penalties.
I mean,
don't Viper says Willibum class act.
I was going to say, not walking room on while you're Lulu. We know that's happened in the past.
Nigel Pickle says he'll be head steward, TJ.
I mean, yeah, that's not going to happen. Nice try, Nigel. Nice try, lad.
Well, Dope Viper says, chill out, Nige, grab a beverage. I cannot agree more. Although he is underage, so we are facilitating underage drinking at this point. So don't grab a beverage unless it's a beverage of J2O or something like that. As Adrian looks like he's got the move done on track between him and Tadas. We knew, I think Adrian was on for the win anyway. He's been absolutely stellar from start to finish. I know he had a little bit of a mishap with a broken front wing and had to get that changed, but he's recovered well, kept it clean, no pens, and believe it or not, no pens for both the AlphaTauri drivers. And so Skibbits could still be on for points here because he's managed to keep it. He's managed to keep it off the pens.
Yeah, that's unbelievable. I mean, You know, I think we see this on some tracks where the track meets are a bit tighter. That we've always got one or two drivers to keep it clean. But two drivers from the same team, that's pretty impressive, that is.
Yeah. Or some would say just a coincidence. just a massively strange coincidence between Adrian and Skibby. Unless it's something they've really worked on in practice together. But as we see here, Adrian then coming through the final chicane. He's driven absolutely brilliant Canadian Grand Prix in Tier 3 here. He runs over a front wing for good measure. It's flying all over the track, but he crosses the line and takes the win here in Tier 3. His first of the season. Tadas gets second in the end, doing a mighty job on those medium tyres, it should be said. Diamond in third provisionally, but Valente is still yet to cross the line. Will he snatch that away from him on penalties? No, he doesn't. 2.2 seconds off doing that. He stays P4, then Sneddon P5 for now. Magsy up to 6th. Hobnob up in 7th. I hope Hobnob's biggest fans are still around to see him collect a solid 6 points for his temporary Mercedes team this evening. Red G in 8th. Lola Lulu, your man, finished in 9th for McLaren. Mongo in 10th for... No, in 11th for Red Bull. His penalties put... No, in 12th for Red Bull. His penalties put him down even further. As the mighty Skivid, who avoided all penalties, all race, gets rewarded for his hard work with 1 bloody point. And what a drive to get that 1 point. Keeping it very clean. There, it's a double points finish for AlphaTauri with that one. And that was your top 10. Sneddon with driver of the day in game. Dope Viper says poor performance, Hobley. 18-second of penalties. I could not agree more, but he still got points at the end of the day, so there's nothing wrong with that. But you're seeing your man there, Adrian, lift the trophy. As I mentioned, his first win of the season. He absolutely dominated today in qualifying, dominated the race really in terms of being in the right place at the right time. He had the pace early on. He had the pace at the end when it counted as well, and kept it clean for good measure then. So as we've already ran through, there's your top 10. Adrian, Tadas, Diamond, Valente, Sneddon, Magsy, Hobnob, Red G, Locker and Skivid. T-Jerk unfortunately just missing out on points for Alpine. Mongo in 12th place for Red Bull. Looked like he was on for points until his penalties came into effect. 12th place for him. Panic End 13th. Willy Bum 14th. I'm Not Good in 15th. Had the pace. Just I have no idea what happened to him, to be honest with you. Something happened into the pit lane. Bad Tom 16th. David Lawface in 17th. Nigel Piggle, what a fraud, in 18th. Soprano Legend 19th, and Force Manure, who we saw come together with Soprano Legend in 20th then. Let's see if we can get some podium interviews in here just as we load into the game. Let's have a look at the chat. Driver of the day, that's what counts. Well, that's the game's driver of the day. We'll see if TJ disagrees with that later on. Mr. Whippy says, good race guys, goodbye from me for now. Goodbye to you, sir. Good luck for the next week. Hopefully you can tune in for the rest of the week. Dope Vipers says, thank you guys, see you next week. We will see you next week, Dope Vipers. Please tune in then for a race around Silverstone, I believe it is. Lola Lulu says, night folks. Dope Viper says, Nige the fraud. There we go. So we have it there. And we've got a vote for Skibby, driver of the day as well. We'll see who TJ decides to give that to later on. Let's see if we can get some podium interviews going. As I said, I think Adrian's just looking for a mic apparently. So we'll see if we can get him here. We've got Diamond with us at the moment. Tadas, I don't know if he's done a driver interview so far this season.
No, I don't think he has, but I haven't invited him.
We will see. I see Diamond, Prompton on time there. into the lobby straight away. Good attendance there. Make sure you've got your order included, mate. For the driver interview, of course. And for everyone still here, thank you for tuning in. Sticking around for these interviews. And thanks for joining us throughout the entire race. We've had great figures tonight. I think we got to about 40 at one stage. So good figures for Wednesday night, Tier 3. Of course, we're back tomorrow, Thursday night, at the same time, 8 PM with Tier 1. We are back on Friday night as well, Tier 2, 8 PM as well, around the same track. Of course, you'll see me and the mighty TJM racing on Friday evening. So tune in for that one to watch us both be penalty frauds as well.
Hey.
In that one. I don't think we're going to get anyone else in for the interview. It looks like we're going to have a sole interview today, TJ. If there's anyone else you want to interview, please feel free to invite them. Because it doesn't look like we're going to get anything else.
Let's see.
What if Skibid will join?
Yeah, I was
Let's
going
Skibid
to get Skibid in, yeah.
He's had a vote for driver of the day. Let's see if we'll get him in to the party for a nice little interview at the end.
And we'll get Sned in him because I think he's still a championship lead as well.
Yeah, let's get Sned in and see if he'll join. So, while we're waiting to see who we can get into the party, TJ, let's discuss your driver of the day then. So, of course, the game gave it to Snedden, but would you agree with that, or are you going to take it away from Snedden in your eyes?
I think both drivers have had the votes for Snedden in game and Skibby, with his P10 penalty free. But yeah, I think in this instance I've got to agree with the game. Starting at the back in Canada and finishing P5 is a mighty feat in itself. And given if he wasn't in trouble, I reckon he could have been up there on the podium. So yeah, for me, Snedden keeps the driver of the day.
Snedden keeps the driver of the day then. There you have it. Your FPRL Tier 3 man of the match, if you were. Is Snedden 69 then, yeah, as you said, from the back of the field in 20th place, up to finish in P5, so good performance from him. Doesn't look like we're going to get many more interviews going then, so we'll crack on with 3rd place then, from Diamond it was. We've been referring to him as Diamond. I don't know how to pronounce the last part of his game and tag, maybe he'll tell us. But I'll let TJ crack on with a nice interview for 3rd place.
Yeah, thanks, Beddle. So, congrats on your first podium, Diamond, and in your debut race as well. How'd you feel?
Decent, to be fair. I didn't think I was going to be anywhere near the top, so to be up there, even with 15 seconds, is close to a victory for me, to be fair.
Yeah, I was going to mention on 15 seconds. Obviously, I'm not sure whether you guys saw in the background, but me and Biddle kept speaking about the very strict track limits around Canada. Obviously, you fell unfortunately to them track limits quite a bit. I suppose, given what you said, you were a bit worried that you might not finish on the podium.
I was. Because I knew I had quick people behind me. I don't know whether they made mistakes or anything like that. I don't know, but I was worried I was going to lose it, knowing that I had fast people behind me.
I mean, I suppose we've got to mention that it looked like you kept your nose clean. I mean, there was a few incidents up and down the track, but I can't remember you being caught spending incidents or needing front wing changes. But you pushed on medium tyres really to the max. I mean, how did they feel towards the end?
Oh, they were dead. They were dead. I was struggling on most of the corners, but I was just happy to be able to bring it home.
I mean, fantastic job keeping it on track then. Obviously, that me and Middle mentioned that we didn't know what track tyre the tyre wear was like around Canada, but we did see the medium tyres really drop off about lap 10 onwards. So I think he managed about 24 laps on them, something like that. So that sounds like a massive achievement to get him go that long. On to, I mean, I suppose we'll talk about next week. We go to Silverstone next week. How are you feeling about Silverstone? Is it a track you like?
It's not actually a track I'm very comfortable with. I'm definitely gonna have to get some practice in before that race, but I'm looking forward to it. It should be good.
Yeah, and given your pace today, you know, I mean, get some practice in, and I think you'll be, you know, up there again. You did show fantastic pace today in your debut race, so congratulations on your P3.
Thank you very much.
I'll pass you over to Bill in case he's got any last questions he wants to ask.
No other questions. Just wanted to say, yeah, congratulations on P3 in your first race. Hopefully many more to come for you, and even if you're not confident in Silverstone, hopefully you can find some pace around there. That's all from us this evening. Thank you for joining, as I've mentioned, and thank you for watching, whether it was live or whether you've been watching it back on Twitch or YouTube. Thank you very much for giving us your time this evening, and hopefully if you've enjoyed what you've seen tonight, you will watch us tomorrow evening, Tier 1, around the same circuit, Canada. It's 8 PM GMT, and the same on Friday for the Tier 2 boys, as I've mentioned, in which you'll see myself and my co-coms make a fool of ourselves on the corner cutting penalties. That's all from us this evening. Join us next week, though, next Wednesday for Tier 3, as the race for the championship is hotting up. We're already on to round 8. I can't believe we're getting through this season so fast. It's Silverstone next week, so we are going to be treated to an absolute classic around there. 8 PM as usual next Wednesday. So me and my co-coms hopefully will see you then.